This is Optimal Work Daily, episode 1115, Having a Value Focus by Laura Stack of theproductivitypro.com. And I'm Dan, I'm your host here, and I am with you every single day of the week, including weekends and holidays, bringing you these great blogs all about work in audio form. So let's get right to it now as we hear from one of our regular authors, Laura, and optimize your life. Having a Value Focus by Laura Stack of theproductivitypro.com. We've all been there. It's the end of the day, your schedule was jam-packed. You crossed 27 things off of your to-do list, and still you have that nagging feeling that the whole day slipped by before you got the chance to really accomplish anything at all. Being busy is one thing. Being productive is something else. On the surface, it can be hard to tell the difference. And that's why it is so easy and tempting to fall into the busy trap. In today's workplace, as much as we supposedly revere productivity, busy is the badge of honor. Stacks of papers covering a desk, a frazzled dash to the coffee machine, and all those blue streaks of Outlook unavailability. Wow, you are important. It's easy to show how busy you are, but productivity is something much more personal and much more important. At the end of the day, it's only productivity that matters. That means you need to be very sure that your time is not only accounted for, but has real value. Nobody cares how many things you crossed off your list. Nobody cares how busy you were last week if key projects are falling through the cracks. Results matter, so think about how you can get the most value out of every day. Here are some ideas to get you started. Number 1, let some tasks go. If you value your time, you can't spend it doing things that aren't valuable. Take a step back and make sure that even your lowest priority tasks are worth the time and effort you invest in them. Just because they manage to creep onto your to-do list week after week doesn't mean they are a good use of time. If it's an activity you do for someone else, make sure that person still finds it valuable before you spend another second on it. The last thing that you want is to spend time on projects that only shuffle their way through inboxes until they're finally deleted or tucked into some bottomless filing cabinet. 2, train someone. Of course, there are plenty of tasks that you'd like to skip permanently, but that isn't always an option. But maybe you call in for some backup. Are you the only one capable of getting it done? If so, is there someone that you could train to fill the need? Even if you need to spend some time and energy bringing someone up to speed, you'll thank yourself down the road. Just remember, when delegating tasks like these, you need to let go of your perfectionism. If you're still fretting about things getting done exactly how you were doing them, then you'll miss out on the point of delegating it out in the first place. 3, cancel that meeting. Meetings are important. They allow for the exchange of ideas and play an important role in the dynamics of the workplace. But not all meetings have the same value. With a limited number of hours in the day, you need to pick and choose when a meeting is appropriate and when it isn't. Always think twice before calling a meeting. If you have the flexibility to choose, you should always think twice about agreeing to attend one too. If you feel like a good deal of your day is wasted by meetings, consider the following. Is the meeting simply to exchange information? If so, an email might do the trick just as well and save everyone a lot of time. Is there travel involved? An elevator ride is one thing. Real travel is quite another. Whether the meeting is going to have attendees from across town or across the country, always stop and consider if a conference call might be just as effective. Sometimes the face-to-face is critical. Other times, it just doesn't matter. So you must set boundaries to avoid wasting your time or anyone else's. And finally, what's your role? Maybe your place could be taken by an assistant who can take good notes. Just make sure that if decisions need to be made, whoever is taking your place is capable of filling in for you. Others will be quickly annoyed if your absence turns into an inconvenience for them. If you do need to be there personally, find out exactly what is needed of you. If only one item on a 2-hour agenda involves you, perhaps you can handle that matter first and leave the meeting early. Spending half of your day in meetings waiting for your agenda item can be a frustrating time waster. 4, revisit your objectives. When was the last time that you reviewed your job description? As time passes, it's easy to drift away from our formal responsibilities and objectives. This can be bad if you're doing work you weren't hired to do, but it can be really bad when it comes time for a performance review. Be aware of what is expected of you and know the criteria on which you are evaluated. Sometimes you'll need to realign the priorities that have been driving your schedule. Sometimes you and your boss might agree that your job description should be adjusted based on your evolving role in the company. 5. Improve the process. Quite often, the time traps that drive us crazy are really just because it's being done inefficiently. This is particularly true when it comes to repetitive tasks that you've been engaged in for a long time. We get so set in our ways that we don't realize there might be a better way to accomplish a task. If you have a similar report or business letter that needs to be written on a regular basis, come up with a template. If you are regularly overwhelmed by your weekly filing, consider handling paperwork as it comes in before it piles up. If you're constantly handwriting addresses on envelopes, figure out how to print directly on the envelope or use labels. 6. The same is true at home. Dinner, laundry, paying bills. Developing a system can dramatically reduce the frustration caused by everyday tasks. Even something as simple as a reusable checklist can be enough to keep you moving in the right direction. And 7. Determine the value. Find out exactly what is expected of you. You might be going well above and beyond what is really needed. Perhaps you are preparing an elaborate weekly status report when those that read it are only interested in that chart you always put on page 5. If they ignore the rest, just distribute the chart. By getting an idea of what the report is really for, you might turn a 2-hour headache into a 20-minute piece of cake. Perfection has its place, but if the benefits of your work aren't worth your time, you should reconsider what you're doing for the sake of personal productivity. Make it a productive day. You just listened to the post titled Having a Value Focus by Laura Stack of theproductivitypro.com. Thank you to HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. HelloFresh handles all the meal planning and shopping to deliver everything you need to cook up a tasty meal right at home. They do the hard part, and you get to take the credit. A new season calls for new meals, and HelloFresh has a fresh fall lineup of delicious dinners and more to choose from. Take your pick from 40 weekly recipes that suit your lifestyle, from veggie to family-friendly to fit and wholesome. And my favorite part? HelloFresh is actually significantly less expensive than both takeout and grocery shopping. So HelloFresh has managed to save me time, health, and a little moolah. So go to hellofresh.com/50OWD and use the code 50OWD for 50% off plus 15% off the next 2 months. Go to hellofresh.com/50OWD and use code 50OWD for 50% off plus 15% off the next 2 months. Effective ad spend that results in verified, incremental sales is more important than ever. That's why you need the Ibotta Performance Network. The Ibotta Performance Network enables brands to meet shoppers where they are, at scale. Partnering with over 2,000 industry-leading brands, the Ibotta Performance Network, or IPN, is the #1 consumer rewards platform for brands and retailers. They deliver targeted promotions, incremental sales, and unrivaled data analytics to measure real-time sales in stores and online. That means advertisers only pay when it leads to a verified unit sold, and you're connected with over 120 million shoppers nationwide. Ibotta has certainly helped us make the most of our budget too, connecting us with more sponsorship opportunities than we could have ever imagined. Lock in your campaign today and start seeing those incremental sales flowing in for your brand with the Ibotta Performance Network. Visit ipn.ibotta.com/OWD today to learn more. That's ipn.ibotta.com/OWD today to learn more. Don't forget, that's ipn.ibotta.com/OWD. Terms and conditions apply. And a big thank you to Laura for letting us share this post today. She's an award-winning keynote speaker and best-selling author of 8 books. Her engaging personality, combined with over 25 years of experience helping organizations achieve results, have made her one of the most sought-after experts and keynote speakers in her field. Laura has been featured in so many publications, including the New York Times, USA Today, the Wall Street Journal, and Forbes magazine, and has been a spokesperson for Microsoft, Danone, 3M, Office Depot, Xerox, and more. And if that wasn't enough, her client list includes top Fortune 500 companies, including Starbucks, Wal-Mart, Bank of America, GM, Wells Fargo, and Time Warner. Plus government agencies as well, like the Air Force Academy, the Census Bureau, the U.S. Senate, and the IRS. So there is a lot to learn from her. She's got so many experiences to share, and you can come by theproductivitypro.com to check it all out. She's got her videos, book, store, newsletter, and blog all there. Again, that's theproductivitypro.com. So with that, I wish you a great rest of your day, and I will see you back here tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.